Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Uh, did I forget that we moved regular chat chats an hour earlier? I sure did. I was just trying to wrap up a couple things, getting all of my critters fed and plants watered before I leave on Friday for my trip. So that's why we're just a bit late. Roach Alexis, Space Camp, Mop, what's up? Dung Beetle, excellent. Jamie, hello, welcome in. I know, Roach. I'm sorry. We're not, we're not that late, and I hope that today's no, like an hour and a half, right? Please hold. 9 p.m. 7, 8. Yeah, hour and a half. 1.5 hours. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um. Anyway, yes, I was packing and finishing laundry and doing all of the things that you have to do before you go out of town, including feeding critters. With tarantulas and everything like that, they are more than fine going a week without food. They always get fed once a week anyway, so it'll be like a little bit more than that for them. Since they're getting fed today, I will be back on Saturday next week. So a little bit over a week, but again, they will be perfectly fine for it. Um, but while I was doing my pre travel feeding and everything, I came across something that I think you guys are probably going to like. And we are going to do before we hop into the regular chat chats, regular pre chat chats. Snakes won't need anything over the week because it's getting cold too. Yeah. Um, yeah, Adelaide's totally fine. She just horked down a rat. um, and all of her timers and everything for her lights and her heating pads and whatnot are automatic anyway. So she will be totally fine. She eats once a month at best. She really hangs on to her food items, so she does not need to eat super often. Um, However, this is what I wanted to show you. Lily, hello. We got a molt chat. Winter goes down every few months. Oh yeah, absolutely right. Adelaide, my snake, born and raised Florida girl. So when I moved to Kansas, she experienced her first winter and didn't eat for 11 months. she uh she ate 1 week before it was going to be a year. Um but her weights and everything were fine and it was crazy. Yeah, 11 months. It was a week before it would have been a full year since she had eaten last. And ball pythons are sort of notorious for doing this. They go on hunger strikes, they call them, but it's not necessarily a strike. It's just they're just not eating for whatever reason. And everyone that I talked to, and I took yeah, Jamie, I talked to a vet, and they were like, yeah, they just kind of do that. As long as she as long as she doesn't lose more than 10% of her total body weight, she's fine. Adelaide is a big girl. I I haven't had her on stream yet. Maybe we'll do that when I get back. Maybe we'll snake introductions at some point when I'm back from the conference. But she, at that point in time, was something like 2,300 grams. And over the course of those 11 months, she only lost 60 grams, where 220 grams would have been like where I would have started getting nervous. So she was totally fine. And I tried. I tried offering like once a month, every couple weeks. I would offer the rat. She wouldn't take it. And I was fully putting when she did finally eat again, I was putting it in and I went, she's not gonna eat this damn thing. I know she's not gonna eat this damn thing. Sure enough, she took it. But yeah, so spider molt, cool. A couple cool things that we can take a look at, but I would really like, and I think I'm gonna do this first, so it stays wet. This is from a Chilean rosehair tarantula. And I actually do not know if this one is male or female yet. So I am going to hopefully be able to tease open this molt in a way that I can show you the spider bits and confirm whether or not it is a female. I'm going to need to get it in focus on my end, so it'll be a little bit out for you guys, but what I'm doing right now to orient you on sort of like what we're looking at. The front, so like towards the top of the screen. Towards the top of the screen right now is the head. That big chunky piece are the fangs and everything. So the direction of the body is going up. Down here, this is the abdomen. This is the flap that has the abdomen on it. Flumgu, no, Chilean rosehair tarantula. Yes, Sam, exactly. We're trying to see if this one's a female though. So this flappy bit back here, this is the abdomen. And this light patch that you're seeing right there at the tip of the forceps right now, that is the book lung. So tarantula lungs are underneath, and they have two pairs of book lungs. And if this is a female, we will be able to see the spermatheca, which is a structure that when she is older would be used for like hanging on to and storing sperm after they mate. And a lot of times people are like, oh, you can't identify tarantulas or you can't sex tarantulas until they're adults. If you have a good enough microscope, you can do it almost instantly. I've had very good luck trying to sex things that even the molts were like half an inch long, and I've been correct. But a problem that a lot of people run into is that these are very, very fragile and the spiders will tear them up. Even pulling this out of the cage where this one was, I lost a couple legs, so it's pretty brittle. And so what I did was soak it in water, and this keeps everything a little bit more flexible. So hopefully we'll be able to open up this flap back here and tell whether or not it's a male or a female. Yeah, Sam, I think Kiwi did molt. I haven't checked in if anybody checked. I don't know if anyone's checked that. I haven't talked to him, but I'm going to be seeing Lucas and Shruti in 48 hours, 72 hours maybe. for those of you that maybe missed that announcement, yeah, the Entomological Society of America meeting, Lucas and Shuri are going. So I'm going to get to hang out with them for a couple days. And I'm sure I will get caught up on all of the Alveus bug stuff that I've been missing now that I have a normal person job that I can't just watch stream all day. So we're going to pop this open. And see what we can see. Okay. So we've got everything. It is wet. This is it's just water. It's just water. Again, to loosen up everything. Um, so what we are looking at, let me get it back in focus. Go back down even further. Is that? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So those white patches are the book lungs. Again, they're paired. There's two in the front, two kind of more in the middle. And that is where they get their oxygen intake. So it's different than with insects. Spiders don't have spiracles. Okay. I just flipped the dang thing over. I didn't want to do that. Okay, so oh, wait, is that? No. So this like darker triangle that you're seeing. What's up, Icebound? Hey. I'm glad you're using that. Tortilla didn't think anybody was going to use it when I had her add it to this stream. Um so this dark there you go. Yeah, spam that shit. Um this dark piece here is the inside of the epigastric furrow. So that's like the flap where all of the sex stuff happens. On the female, that's where like the male will insert the embolus. That on the male, that's where the sperm will come out when he is doing making that sperm web for laying down the sperm web to suck up the embolus then from to be able to mate. Right on this little line here between this first pair of book lungs is where the spermatheca should be if this was a female. I have some medium news for you. In that, I don't think this is a female. which is fine. Um, the thing with male tarantulas, though, they don't live as long. Tarantula 6 of the day. It's a boy. Yeah, gender reveal. So yeah, it's always possible that I am incorrect. That has been known to happen. Um, but in this species, the spermatheca is pretty obvious. It's got like two very prominent uh fingers, I guess, if you will. It's got these two long struts on it. So I do not think this one has it. Which is fine. Again, it's not a big deal. This is still a relatively small spider, so you can see how big the molt is. So it's slightly bigger than this at this point. Um, so I will still have it for another couple of years probably before we have to start worrying about being a male. Um, but because it is my only Chilean rose hair, it would have been nice if she was female or if it was female. Um, but that's just how it goes. It happens. It's a 50-50 shot, right? Either it's a female or it's not. Um, so yes, gender reveal. Excellent. Let me I'm gonna I'm gonna put you back on the ants for just a second. Um, I do have a giant box that is my historical molt holder. It's got years and years of tarantula molts kind of built up in it, and some of them have very clear spermathecas that are visible. I just don't know where it is in the room right now. There are three possible options for which box it's in. So give me 2 minutes back on the ants, and then I'll come back. If I can't find it, we'll just go right into beetle ID. There's a fourth option. It might be this one. Oh yes, this feels correct. Shit, I was wrong. It does not. That's annoying. Okay, so it's not one of those. Is it you? It is not you. Is it you? No. Okay. Um, it wasn't in any of the boxes of the type that I can see right now. Um, because work has been providing most of my pinning supplies and stuff, like to do the job, I haven't fully unpacked all of my equipment yet. So it's possible that it is in one of the boxes that still needs to get unpacked. Um, I don't think I would have left it in Arizona or gotten rid of it. That feels irresponsible of me if I would have. Hmm. Okay. I'll mark that for a future ideas. Binders that card collectors have, but it's Flumgoon, you wish it was that organized. It's literally like open the lid of box. Oh my god, there's piles of molts in here. They're not organized. Like it's I Maya is doing what I have always wanted to do, which was like keep a baby book record of one of the individuals. But every time that I've started, some shit has happened. Like it will destroy the molt, or it would get stuck and pass away early. I've just never had one where it was like, oh yeah, here to here to here to here to here, and like a very obvious progression. Um, she's getting really lucky with Tortellini and Puppy and their molt books. But yeah, mine is a mix of species and sizes and like tarantulas that I don't even have anymore. All kind of crammed together in a box. That's gonna annoy me now. Because that was like a cool thing. And me having to find that before I go on my trip is a very annoying concept. So I'm going to hopefully not think about it that much, but it is on my brain, and I'm going at like a million miles a second right now thinking about where else it could be. So to distract me from that, let's get into beetles for the day. So, last week, if you recall, we finished up the ladybug relatives, and then we started getting into the limexelloids. So these weird long guys with kind of odd mouth parts. Parents that keep random boxes of their children's teeth. Yeah, absolutely. The nice thing about Limexilloidea is that there's only one family in it. This was it. This is all of the Limexellids that exist. So now we can move into something that is a very large superfamily, but also has a lot of stuff. Well, it has one group at least that you are very familiar with. Two groups that you are very familiar with. Three. Yeah, about three groups that you're actually probably familiar with. We are moving now into the Tenebrianoidea, which we're going to start with the namesake of the family, or of the superfamily, even though it is not first on in the organization of this list. This is by far the biggest family in this group, and we have seen stuff like this on chat chats before. These are your dark. I don't even know if this is going to be small enough to fit under the scope. This is kind of a big beetle. Yeah, let's go big cam for a second to really appreciate Tenebrionids. So these are like the big black beetles that are wandering around Alveus sometimes. In the desert, they're sometimes called the desert stink beetles because they will raise their abdomens up and secrete a nasty smelling defense chemical. But other things that are in this uh other things that are in this group are mealworms. That's like the big one that people are aware of. Um, your mealworms, if you ever buy them for like feeding a reptile or anything like that, if you leave those long enough, those are beetle larvae. They will pupate and they will turn into something in this family. It will not be nearly this large, but it is this family. So, what makes a tenebrianoid a tenebrianoid? This is a tenebrionid, meaning that it is in the family Tenebrionidae. Tenebrianoidea, OIDEA, is a superfamily that includes a bunch of other groups, a bunch of other families. So how do we know if something is a tenebrionoid? And the best way to do that is to count the tarsi. So we've looked at tarsal counts before in a lot of different groups, and we've seen how the numbers change. Fluff it. You can also fluff it. There is a tenebrianoid genitalia shape. That's kind of diagnostic. But let's get in on this front leg here. We're gonna count the front. We're gonna count the middle. We're gonna count the hind legs. I know you would, Space Camp. Space Camp doesn't like us to have any fun around here. Okay, how many tarsi do we got? Up this just a bit. Well, let's look at Beetleween. Space Camp lets us. They're just not happy about it. So how many Tarsimirs are we seeing? Five? Yes. Good. So for those of you who are maybe new here, this is your first time counting bug toes. The claws are always attached to the last segment. They are not counted as the last segment though. So you can start from the very, very end where these claws are. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this big piece here is the start of the tibia, which is like the next leg segment. Insects have a 5-segmented leg. Closest to the body is called the coxa. Then you have the trochanter. Then you have the femur. Then you have the tibia. And then you have the tarsus, which is what we're focusing on right now. In ground beetles, one that we've definitely talked about before, and we looked at the ladybugs last time, oftentimes when you're identifying things, they will have a what is called a tarsal formula. So it would say like, oh, tarsi 555, which would mean that on the front, middle, and hind legs, the tarsus would have 5 segments, 5 segments, and 5 segments. So defining this new group that we are learning tonight, our tarsal formula right now is 5 ? Because we haven't counted these other ones yet. So now I'll flip to a better visible middle segment. And we can count this one. How many here? Flumgoon. Beetle blindness? What makes you say that? 5 again. 5. Yep. Very nice. So, I will also say it will never be higher than 5. 5 is the maximum number of tarsal segments. Most other insects actually have fewer than 5. A lot of orthopterans, so like grasshoppers and crickets and things like that, will only have 3 segmented tarsi. Dragonflies and damselflies will have 3. Lacewings and stuff will have 4. So beetles have the max, but they can be different numbers. It won't always be 555. Sometimes it's 444. I can't think of any situations where the front leg. I lied. I just thought about a situation. In general, the front leg will have the most, and then you will lose segments towards the back. So before I finish this thought, we got 5 on this one. We're okay with that. What about back here? What do we think for this one? Yes, Jamie. Very, very good. 4. So, the tarsal formula for you feel like it's a trick question. Scout's honor, this one is straightforward. Um Everything in the superfamily, or back up, Tenebrionids, this family in particular, has a tarsal formula of 554. That is, insects can have 3 to 7 segments. Um, I don't think that's right. And anyone can edit Wikipedia, but except the tarsal is going to be from 3 to 7 segments, each referred to as a tarsomere. I don't think that's correct. Uh, I'm stun locked by that a little bit because I don't think, I simply do not think that is true. Um, this is not the kind of learning I would like. Arthropod leg. Okay. Do you see Do you see the under the? Oh, you are under the insect tab. Um, I don't like that. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to look into this. Uh, I'm gonna have to look into this because this is kind of messing me up right now. If you were on the arthropod page, I could see them. I don't know because I don't work on other things. I could see there being arthropods that have 7 tarsomeres, but I am seeing what you are saying under the insects tab. So that's kind of fucking me up a little bit. You guys are ridiculous. Um hmm. Okay. I will report back to this. Um cuz that is quite tripping me up because it shouldn't be that way. Anyway, um Tenebrionids, that particular family has 554 tarsal formula. That is the same across all of the tenebrianoids as well. So these other groups that we're going to look at today and also probably into next week, not next week because there's no streams because I'm away. This week into 2 weeks from now, will all have a 554 tarsal formula like this. I picked this Tenebrionid because it's big and you can see all of the characters really well, but we are going to get into some small stuff here eventually. So counting those segments is not always going to be as easy. So I wanted to bring out this example to show it first. Um, but yes, this is a Tenebrionid. Um, while we're here, we can look at some of the other characteristics of this family. The first one is going to take us back up to the head. And so, first of all, let's appreciate this dude's evil looking eyes. He looks like he's like, yeah. Battle scarred, yeah, a little bit. So those dots are normal, but that cut across the middle there is not normal. J7, he's probably got 7 dots at least. J7 dots. Welcome in. Hello. 5 stream streak. Very nice. So we are up at the head right now, and it's got all of the regular hallmarks of insect head. I know you guys always kind of like looking at mouth parts because they differ so much between groups. Oh, shit, hydrate. I didn't bring my cup up from the dishwasher, so we're just gonna have to. So now we're looking at the underside. And we see the same structures that we, oops, took it away there for you. We're seeing the same structures that we always do. But again, a little bit different than what we typically see. Roche, the system, piss comes out, piss goes in. It's just recycling. Um, I should clarify, not piss. I promise. It's water that has orange flavoring in it. uh, Thinking about the piss jar, I promise I don't do that. Um, so up here, these are the mandibles. Then you have the maxillary palps, which are these big, wide ones here. And then the labial palps are very, very small. But you also see a lot of seedy and brushes kind of going on here in the mouth. And that helps with these. You'll also notice that the mandibles are blunted. They're not sharp on the edges, or they're not sharp at the tips at least. So that tells us this. Yes, roach. Exactly. This is a leaf eater or a scavenger of some sort. Um, these desert ones specifically. This is one from Arizona. Uh, they're not super picky with what is available. They'll feed on cactus pads. They'll feed on like the little very very thin leaves that are on desert plants. They'll feed on whatever they can, including other dead insects, um, to get their resources. But since they're not predatory, like actively hunting, um, they don't need the super sharp mandibles. And all of this hair that's kind of going on beneath the mandibles helps with uh, dealing with plant feeding. Um, it helps them kind of keep the juices in and helps conserve water because again, these are desert adapted insects. They don't see rain very often, so wherever they get their water from, they usually have to keep as much of it as they can. And so all of those bristles and everything, kind of like the flavor saver, it helps kind of catch that water, and they're able to use those palps then to like squeegee and push it back up into the mouth uh, while they're feeding on things. Would he like spinach? Yeah, probably. Pug mixed with the worms from Men in Black. I can see that. There what it was a pug in that movie, right? Like their dog was a pug. Um. So anyway. Oh, the other thing that I was going to show you down here. So right in front of the eye, do you guys see where the antenna is inserted into the head? Do you see that first antennal segment there? It's a little bit shaky because I'm holding it. But so you see where it attaches to the head. If we look now from the top, that antennal insertion is covered. So you can't see the very base of that antennal segment because it's covered by this little rounded process. Process in entomology is sort of like any outgrowth. So yeah, right there, that little bump that's in front of the eye covers the antennal insertion from the top. It does sort of look like his cheekbones, Roach. But the antennal insertions being covered by a shelf is another characteristic of tenebrionids. So I don't have other examples readily available because to me this is like the most tenebrionid to ever exist. So unlike some of my other ones, I don't actually have good like diversity representation in terms of like body form and things like that. Uh, actually,